Okay, so this meeting is already being recorded. We're going to go ahead and download it from the Zoom cloud once it's done, and then I will post it to YouTube. But for now, just FYI, it is not being streamed to Facebook. That's not something that I could do with the technology that I have in my phone. So, but we still will be able to post it to the website. Okay, it is 6:05, and we'll call this meeting to order. There is obviously no minutes to approve because this meeting hasn't happened in probably 9 months or more. And let's see, do I have any changes to the agenda?
No, nothing to add.
No, nothing to add? Okay, so vote on the agenda, aye?
Sure.
Or
No
aye?
opposition.
Okay, Craig, up, down? I don't see Craig.
He's on mute.
Okay, cool, I got it.
No,
Okay, so no changes to the agenda. Okay, so the first order of business is to elect the officers for this meeting. The Transportation Committee is obviously small. There's 5 of us total. Bev didn't mention anything about wanting to be secretary or chair. So I'm gonna put it out there. If anybody wants to be chair of the Transportation Committee, please let me know. I am okay to do it. I've been doing it for a year or 2 now, and I'm fine, but I can't do chair and secretary. So does anybody want to nominate themselves or someone else for chair?
Maybe, but
Okay.
I'd like to know more about what all, what's involved. So maybe
Okay,
we can talk
well-
to you offline or something later on, away from the.
Yeah, so what we'll do is, if you don't want to do it now, then we'll just elect somebody, somebody to be chair other than you. And if you wanted to do like secretary role or something, that would be great. And then that would you do that for about, a year. And then every year, the chair seats and secretary seats they go up for election every single year. So if you wanted to be chair next year, you could put your name in the hat for chair next year.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess I'll nominate myself for chair. Does anybody oppose?
no,
Nope.
no.
Okay, I'll try to be more efficient this year. Okay, so no opposed. I am now the chair. And does anybody want to nominate anybody for secretary or take that role?
Yeah, I could do that.
Well, thank you.
Great.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I can give you, Susan, all in favor of the chair and the secretary?
Aye.
Hi.
Okay, great. Susan, I'll make sure that I give you the forms and everything that you need that I've been using to keep track of the minutes. Of course, you don't have to follow my stuff, but you can go ahead and use it and modify it as you want.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So thank you, Susan. And so the second order of business was just to kind of briefly, go over the things that we've kind of done.
I gather there's no non-agenda public comment. Nobody was.
Oh gosh.
Only if you have one, Craig.
Well, do you
you
know
have
about the candidate forum that's going to be at the Masonic Hall, I believe, on the 31st?
It's the same
I
as
have
the
seen a
library
flyer.
meeting.
What was that?
It's the same day as the library meeting.
Right. So I guess you're going to have to make your choice of where to attend.
Hey, Susan, did you see the flyer for that?
No, for the library meeting?
Well, there's actually a flyer going around for the library meeting, but there's also a flyer going around for another District 2 candidate forum that Craig is mentioning, and it's going to be at the Masonic Center.
Okay.
Craig, do you want to give the info just in case Susan wants to come?
It's the 31st, I believe, at 6 p.m. at the Masonic Center. And I got Let's see, I've got the flyer on my phone here, so let me dial it up and see exactly what it says. It says Town Hall, May 31st, 6 to 7:30, Masonic Center. And, Her Majesty Jen Campbell and the other candidates are invited. Let's see who shows up.
Okie dokie. All right, well,
Okay.
that's gonna be interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so does anybody else have any non-agenda public comment?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, me neither. Okay, so we'll move on to just the other item that we had on the agenda, which is discussing things that we have done or that we were kind of working on and would like to continue to work on. I see Susan has the paper in front of her,
Yeah,
which is
the
really
list, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that second page, there's a list of the things that, we've either hashed out, discussed, sent a letter, requested, or things have been kind of requested and approved or done. And then at the top of the list, there's things that we were kind of throwing around, but, we were still kind of throwing around and not sure if we were going to be able to do any of them without massive intervention or a lot of work. But anyways, I pay attention to the social media chatter, and I honestly haven't seen anything that is more than, because usually you hear things like, oh, we want a stop sign here, or traffic safety here, or a stoplight needs to go here, or whatever. But I haven't really heard anything that's new that
Well,
I feel.
I have
Go
something.
for it.
It's been raised to me by my neighbors up at my house. It's actually more of a Point Loma issue because this intersection is in the Point Loma Planning Board District, but one block down on Orchard, Froud and Orchard is in the OB. And really the issue is, I guess the way to phrase it is, has Orchard become too much of a speedway because it is the last street south of Newport that basically has no stop signs from Sunset Cliffs Boulevard all the way to Santa Barbara? And is it the time to discuss either our board or the Point Loma board or a conjunction of the two, whether there should be a stop sign either at Orchard and Froud or Orchard and Guzot? Because people are using, you're not living on it. Andrea, it's if anything, it's worse than when you were living here. It's just, I think everybody who kind of, I don't know if any of the apps have picked up on it or not, but certainly there's a lot of people who sort of know that this is the one where once you turn up the hill, you can floor it all the way till you hit, all the way till you hit Santa Barbara. And likewise going down. So I know my neighbors here, like I said, this is out of our jurisdictional district, at least at this intersection. But we've got a lot of young families that have moved in around the corner, around Orchard and Guzot, who are concerned about the speed of traffic on Orchard Avenue and asked me about stop signs.
And you said that that's not in our planning area?
Well, at Guzot Street, it's not.
Okay.
Because our planning area ends at Froud. But I would think that the issue of, do we need intermediate stop signs on Orchard between Sunset Cliffs and Santa Barbara is something that's worthy of perhaps at least putting on some list and also shared with the Peninsula Group.
Yeah, absolutely. Mandy's a really good advocate for traffic calming and safety. So if we want to add that to our list, and then maybe next time we can formulate, a letter or a request that we can put into the full board and see if anybody's on board for the stop sign.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it's better than waiting for some kid to get run over and killed, which is how
Yeah.
the city seems to approach these things.
Yeah. And this is what I hear on the social media chatter all the time is, oh, we need a stop sign here, we need a stop sign there, and it's hard because the city can't put a stop sign on every corner. So, it becomes a battle of like who has the loudest voices and who requests, the most. Or they come to the planning board and they ask, and then we say,
Well, Andrew,
So-
when you think about going up the hill, are there any other streets that you can think of that are essentially stop sign free between Sunset Cliffs Boulevard and Santa Barbara? Point Loma Avenue has stop signs at Evers and Froud. Bermuda, I believe, has stop signs. I know Pescadero has a stop sign at Guzzo. Del Mar
Yeah.
has a stop sign at Evers. I'm trying to think going over. I know Narragansett has stop signs. I know Niagara has stop signs. I know Newport has stop signs. Going up the hill. I kind of think Orchard's the last. I kind of think Orchard might be the last one with unobstructed, no stop signage between Sunset Coast Boulevard and Santa Barbara Street.
And are there stop signs like on the corners?
On the
like,
cross streets?
The corners close to it, within like a 1 block radius, are there other stop signs?
Yes.
Or Ebers has a stop sign.
Oh,
What is there a stop sign?
Evers.
There's no stop
There's a stop sign coming across Orchard on Ebers.
coming across.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's stop signs, and there's a stop sign coming across at Guzzo.
Yeah.
And I believe there's a stop sign coming across at Froud. So what it does is it's
All of them except, everything between Santa Barbara, because like Craig is saying, it's straight shot down to Sunset Cliffs.
so
Okay.
so with the two-way stops at all the cross streets, people who want to go freeway speeds up and down the hill have chosen Orchard as their preferred route.
Right, right.
That's the question is, do we need a four-way?
Yeah. And that's I think one of the problems that we were having on Froud altogether is that there's a number of 2 ways, but there's no 4 ways, and people are feeling like they can't cross the streets. So, so yeah, okay. Yeah, we can add that to the list for sure.
And then I actually really want to start lobbying the city hard, and this isn't just an OB issue, but an all over issue to install smart lights everywhere. Because it's one of those like either or thing, like either start installing smart lights or we need to start installing more roundabouts. And I know how everyone feels about roundabouts. So I'd rather start like lobbying hard for smart street lights everywhere. I think that's much sexier than sexy streets.
Oh God, don't even get me started on that
Oh,
name.
you mean street lights that monitor the traffic in real time, and so that they actually.
Yeah, so you're not sitting at a light where no one's coming across any other way. Like it just, keeps traffic moving. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that actually might really help with the whole Sunset Cliffs, Voltaire, West Point Loma, Freeway, that whole cluster there might really help. And
Yeah.
I mean, even with the roundabout, the traffic gets terribly backed up there. So I would definitely want to put that on the list as well. So that's awesome.
And
So
then
we can add that.
another concern would be, since I see it's on the, requested in progress, some clarification regarding parking and how it's being dealt with. Specifically, the apparent inconsistency in dealing with parking in the commercial zone. So you get something like where Luigi's gets to take a parking lot and remove 8 spaces and build an outdoor dining patio. where OB Brewery has been trying to install pizza ovens at the space that they now control in Java Jungle next door. And the city is telling them that they can't do it because they can't provide the number of parking spaces. And I also heard from somebody today that that new restaurant that's trying to where the
Hunamana or something like that.
Kimona, that used to be the People's Associated
The
Restaurant.
Asian,
Yeah.
the
The like
buns,
bun one.
the little buns.
Right. I heard from one of the neighbors there. I was over getting my car swabbed at the neighbor's garage, that they're having issues with the city regarding the lack of parking. So it seems like there's, just this tremendous inconsistency in the way the parking regulations are being enforced.
Well,
Andrea,
does
I'm wondering
anybody,
if that's a new versus old kind of situation where some people are still thinking that parking is required, but yet the update with all of the policies basically said that parking isn't required now or something. I mean, do you remember? Because there was a change in the policies recently saying that parking wasn't required, and I don't know.
No, DSD just isn't clearing some people.
Just some people. Well, that's unfair and it's inequitable. So,
That seems to be the issue, is to get some clarification from DSD as to why they're being so inconsistent in how they're treating people on parking issues.
Yeah, we can definitely write a letter and ask for clarification. I mean, we could make a phone call too, but I think a letter addressed to multiple people would call attention to the fact that it's not being done equitably, instead of just calling somebody at DSD and saying, hey, it's not being done. And they go, oh, well, I'm doing it. Right. So, yeah, I think a letter could be drafted and ask for clarity on that. And, yeah, absolutely. Another thing to add to our list.
Well, it's almost on the list. I'm looking: curbside dining, slow streets, business prosperity, businesses OB, which is so it's already on the list, or as completed, requested / in progress. It's just that nothing's really happening.
Yeah.
and one of the questions I have, and I don't know if you guys already know the answer to this or not, but all the outside curbside dining that's taking up parking spaces on Newport, is that permanent, or is that going to be going away at some point? Because that makes a big difference in the parking availability on Newport and the cross streets. And
I believe it was extended until 2023. Is that correct, Andrea?
I think Andrea can take this. I think she knows about it.
okay.
I think it's permanent. I don't know who just joined.
Well, Andrea looks like she may not know she's muted.
Sorry, it was me.
Okay, well, you got massive feedback.
Yeah, I'm trying to join on my phone. But I don't know how to mute myself, I guess.
The mushrooms are kicking in.
No, I'm just trying to join on my phone. That's not so bad though, right?
No, that's good. That's good.
Because if I leave,
Master echo. I love it.
So now you have to unmute yourself. I don't know if I can unmute you. Yeah, I can't unmute you. Okay, so my understanding of the eateries, or the streeteries as they are being called, is that they're going to be a permanent option for businesses, but they will have to essentially rent the space. So anybody who doesn't want to pay for those extra parking spots to be a streetery will have to give them up. So it was extended. It was there through COVID. It was extended. But now I believe the new plan is to make them permanent if people want to rent them from the city.
Huh.
At least that's my understanding. And Andrea, you're still muted, so I can't have you confirm with that. Oh, there we go. You are no longer muted, but we can't hear you.
Hi, Andrea.
There we go. Yeah. So as you see, like a few of them have already disappeared on Newport, but
Yeah.
Barbecue House still has those. So yeah, it's permitting. Remember those, we reviewed the regulations for them a while ago, and we asked it not be the full length of their thing, which obviously went away. But yeah, you have to pay permitting for it. But those aren't counted towards your parking anyways, because that's street parking.
So Susan, there was in the past, there was a requirement that for whatever business they had based on square foot, blah, 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 that every business had to have parking. And that changed, obviously, because of what we've noticed, that some businesses aren't getting the parking that they need and other businesses have been. And they've been paying a pretty penny for it if they're going to the lots that have to pay for the parking. So that's what Craig was kind of hearkening to, is that we need to figure out, what the consistency is for that, and why some businesses are being required to get parking and others are not.
Yeah.
Because that I think was an old code versus new code. And then the parking being taken up by the streeteries, that was temporary and then extended. And now I believe it's going to be permanent, or it has been voted to be permanent. I'm not exactly sure what state it's in right now. So like I said, it's the businesses are going to have to rent the spaces, and they can only rent the spaces directly in front of their businesses. It can only go a certain point out into the parking area. It has to have certain walls and spacing and no roofs, and there's a lot of rules with it, but they will be allowed to utilize parking spaces if they want.
And although it all seems a little curmudgeonly for me to mention it, it appears that the city is incredibly inconsistent on enforcing that stuff as well. And so you've got the Noodle House and the Barbecue House with full roofs and all the rest, months
Right.
after the fire marshal said that all roofs and permanent structures have to be removed. So
right, and that's really annoying. I mean, I think that that's something that my question. Okay, so let me back up. So that's a Steve thing. I don't think Steve cares what the rules are, and he does what he wants. And I did notice though.
Wait,
No, but I
Steve?
did. 1502 is Steve.
Okay.
Right.
And that is the one that has like the full roof, and it's it
Right.
looks like an addition to their restaurant. It's
Okay.
beautiful. It's very well done, but it's illegal. They're not supposed to have that.
Well, I
They
guess
did.
my concern is it creates the impression that the city is making sweetheart deals with people, and it gives
Exactly.
it's a bad look. It looks like somehow there's favoritism.
Exactly. I do know that Noodle House removed their outdoor seating entirely, though, and now they have a little encroachment onto the sidewalk. So I don't know if that's okay or not, or if they got a variant. I don't have no idea. But yeah, so they removed their outdoor streetery. The other day when I walked by, it was totally gone. And I noticed a couple of other places have too. So anyways, yeah, I mean, anytime you see inconsistencies like that, you think that there's something sketchy happening. And it's not fair. No matter what, it's not fair.
Yeah.
But we can ask for clarity on that too. Put that on the list. It's not really a transportation thing as much as it is like I think a board thing.
Yeah, and just parking spaces in general, it's,
Yes, things that have to do with parking would be correctly
Yeah.
transportation related.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Does anybody have anything else that they want to address or look at?
The very first item on your list, the I-8 Sunset Cliffs West Point Loma end of freeway and transition. I know I mentioned once during one of the planning board meetings that it'd be really great if there was a right turn lane, a dedicated right turn lane, as you're getting off the highway and heading south on Nimitz. So at the end of 8 and you're heading south on Nimitz to West Point Loma, there by the park, there's the bike lane and everybody gets in the bike lane as far back as possible to make that right-hand turn onto West Point Loma. And I think it's incredibly
Susan,
dangerous.
I've asked.
Yeah.
I know, and I've asked about it. I've made that specific request because I thought we could come into, the like nasty, unkept park space that's there.
Yes.
But because it's exactly that park space and it counts towards the park space in our neighborhood, the city's unwilling to do anything with it.
Really? Okay.
Didn't Nicole Burgess though say that there was some plan for that area at some point? Do you remember that, Andrea? I swear she said there was a plan for it.
Yeah, she was saying that Sandag has a plan to like fully connect the bike path all the way over on the bridge, all the way down to here. But that's Sandag. So that would be something we could certainly ask the county about.
Yeah. Okay.
I've just seen so many people on bikes being cut off by cars that are using that bike lane as the right turn lane. And I never see, if I ever see police there, they never enforce it. So it's just, I don't know. I think it's quite
absolutely.
dangerous.
I'm an offender of that, actually. But I always look behind me and look around to make sure there's no bicyclists coming before I get in that lane. So, but yeah, I mean, we can poke that again. We can for sure poke them and say, hey, what's going on here?
Either that or move the bike lane out of the traffic lane and put that on the, through the park or something, with a barrier just to make it a little bit more safe.
Yeah.
Something, I don't know.
Okay.
Do we
I spent a lot of my youth, my family's from Denmark, so, there they have dedicated bike lanes with barriers that separate the bike lanes from the regular traffic lanes. So that's kind of what I'm used to seeing,
Yeah, why would we want to do anything safe like that? There's no reason for safety.
Right.
Do you have any update on what's going on with any of the plans regarding the pier lot and nighttime closures or anything else having to do with the beach spots in the pier lot?
I believe we got some or something from that. Maybe Andrea has some feedback on that too. I think Andrea's in a more busy spot than I am.
Hi. So this is in Kevin's update as well. Parks just has to put in the request to Coastal, and then Coastal has to review it.
Okay.
So it's still under. I mean, I was at the meeting and it seemed like they were willing to do it because it was a community request. But I guess who knows the Coastal schedule right now or how they prioritize things.
Yeah, Kevin has an amazing spreadsheet. He's like a spreadsheet guy, and he sent me a spreadsheet, and then he also sent like an email kind of update. And I apologize, I didn't forward it to you guys, but I will make sure that I get it to you after I'm home.
Okay.
Sometime after I'm home, maybe sooner. I don't know. We'll see. Anything else? No. All right.
Good priority.
Hey, Andrea, I can barely hear you.
I think any update on the signage and reflectors by the skate park to stop people from coming off I-8 and plowing into the skate park?
No, I haven't heard anything. I think this has
And
been
or new
requested.
barriers.
It's been requested over and over again to improve that intersection. They did recently put new barriers up because the old ones were completely destroyed. So there's some there's some brand new ones that are sitting there. And they're nice and white and bright. So maybe they will actually stand out more than the painted one. And I originally thought that the mural on those was a really great idea, but because it's a mural, it doesn't stand out as well. So, I mean, I would advocate for just leaving those completely white so that they stand out, you know? But yeah, they did. Go ahead.
Can they put some solar powered blinking lights on it or something, you know, warning lights or something simple like that, just to alert people at night?
Just reflectors.
Even reflectors, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely on our list, and we can add that too. Just to put in yet another request for improvements of that whole area. Safety. Anybody?
And Tracy, can you sort of clarify for me this one about replace the concrete metering barrier in the middle of Sunset and Voltaire, north of Voltaire, with flex posts?
Yeah. So do you guys remember when Plant Power went in?
Right. Yeah.
And they actually made it in. They put up like a concrete barrier between Plant Power and the gas station. So
right.
people cannot make left-hand turns into Plant Power anymore. And it's actually a smart idea because we don't want people blocking the traffic on Sunset Cliffs, right? So they put up a concrete barrier, but people hit it. They hit it all the time. And I've actually heard from firefighters that it makes it really difficult to get in and around that area as well. So I was thinking it would be really great to actually just take out that concrete barrier and put flex posts up so that if somebody does hit it, they're not going to destroy their car.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but you know, that was just one of those, it was just one of those things that I added to the list. We hadn't ever really talked about it. You know, it'd be interesting to see what the data is on that and how many accidents do occur right there. I'm not sure it's a lot, but.
Because one of the things I've noticed with flex posts, especially like on that stretch of highway going up to Mammoth, is you see all those bases from flex posts that are no longer there. But I guess the flip side of that is the flex posts will act as some deterrent to people making the left turn. And for the people who are either idiots or just habitual drunk lawbreakers, at least they won't destroy their car and block traffic. Well, it has to be towed away.
Yeah.
So I get why you requested that.
Yeah, and that was my logic for that. Just purely my logic. So I don't know if the city is going to want to rip up something that they installed, but like I said, I've seen enough people damage that intersection, that concrete barrier and the sign that's in the front. I've seen people take it out. So it's like, okay, well, you know, what's the purpose here? The purpose of it is to prevent people from turning left into Plant Power. The purpose is not to like take people's cars out. So anyways, that's something that we can talk about at another meeting for sure.
Okay.
Anything else?
I don't know. I think that sounds good.
Okay. I mean, you know, obviously this isn't an exhaustive list and things can always be added as needed. And, you know, we can continue to talk about things when I'm not at a baseball game. So
we'll enjoy your baseball game.
Yeah. So I guess, does anybody else have any final comments or anything that they want to say before I close this up?
Just, I guess this group meets every other month. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and it will be, I guess this is the fourth Monday. Is this the fourth Monday of the month? Yeah, so I think it is. Okay, so it will meet at the same time every other month.
Okay.
It's at 6 o'clock.
Okay. And do you guys usually just do this one as a Zoom meeting, or did you ever have in person before COVID and all that?
Before COVID, we did have it in person. We had it at the Newbury Church in a little tiny room.
Okay.
It was kind of weird and cool at the same time. But for now, I guess I think we all kind of talked about having committees via Zoom because they're just so small. We don't really have a lot of public participation in them anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, you know, yeah, we'll just keep it on Zoom for now.
Okay.
Makes it easier for everybody.
Yep. Sounds good.
I think that is it. I don't have anything specifically. Oh, and then Susan, what I'll do is I'll send you all the information. I'll send you a link to the meeting so you could type up the minutes. And then also before every meeting, I like to send out an email to the committee
Okay.
and ask if they have any ideas.
Okay.
And then I can generate an agenda based on any ideas that we all have before the meeting, because I you know, I'm not always paying that close attention. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Sounds good.
Are we good?
We're
All
good.
right. I don't know what time it is. What time is it? It is 6:41.
Yep.
Awesome. The game starts at 6:40. That's perfect.
All right,
guys.
enjoy the game.
Thank you for indulging me. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.